Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something we all know we should do, but maybe don't fully understand. Stretching.
Hmm.
We've got a fantastic guide in front of us, Stretching for Dummies by LaReine Chabut with Madeleine Lewis.
Great resource.
And our goal today is really to pull out the most valuable nuggets, the key insights, the practical tips, stuff that will actually help you make stretching a useful part of your life.
Yeah, for better flexibility, fewer injuries, and just, well, feeling better overall.
Exactly. Forget those images of super complicated yoga poses, mates.
Right. This is more about the fundamentals, the core principles that make stretching surprisingly powerful for your well-being.
And get this. Some of the connections we'll make might just surprise you. Did you ever think that, tight calf muscles could be messing with your lower back?
It sounds disconnected, but it happens.
Or here's a fascinating point from the book. Stretching isn't just for, elite athletes. It's described as a low-cost, long-term insurance policy for basically everyone's body.
That's a great way to put it.
So we're going to unpack these ideas and a lot more. Let's dive right in. The big question.
Yeah.
Why is stretching, why is everyone recommending it? Doctors, trainers, physios.
Chiropractors, too. They're all on the same page because, honestly, the benefits are pretty substantial.
Okay, like what? What are the big ones?
Well, take posture, for instance. Just everyday habits can create these hidden muscular imbalances. They pull your skeleton out of alignment.
How so?
Think about always holding your phone on the same shoulder.
Right.
Or that heavy bag you always sling over one side. Even just sleeping on the same side every night.
Huh. Never thought about the sleeping thing.
Yeah. Stretching helps correct those imbalances.
Yeah.
Helps bring you back into better alignment.
Okay, so by focusing on stretching those muscles that get tight from habit, we're kind of helping our bodies find their natural balance again.
Exactly.
And the book points out good posture isn't just about looking taller, though that's nice. It actually helps us breathe better.
Precisely. When your body's aligned properly, your lungs have more room, your diaphragm can move freely, your whole respiratory system just functions more efficiently.
Posture, breathing.
Yeah.
What else? Injury prevention comes up a lot.
Huge one. Research suggests that, improved flexibility can significantly reduce how severe injuries are if they happen, and also shorten recovery time.
Right.
It basically makes your muscles and joints more resilient,
Right.
better able to handle unexpected strains or movements.
That low-cost insurance policy idea really is spot on then. So even if you're not, a hardcore athlete, it's still smart.
Absolutely. For everyday life, too.
What about stress? I think everyone can relate to that one. Does stretching really help dial down stress?
It does, and kind of on multiple levels. Physically, it helps release that muscle tension we hold when we're stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Tight neck, shoulders.
Oh, yeah. I feel that.
But there's a mental side, too. The focus on slow, deep breathing during stretching actually helps oxygenate your blood, which has a direct calming effect on the nervous system, reduces anxiety.
So it works on the body and the brain chemistry.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, the slow, deliberate movements themselves can be almost meditative. Gives your mind a break.
Like a 2-for-1 deal. Easing physical tension and mental tension. Okay. Now, the book also talks about muscle tightness itself. If we ignore it, it sounds like it causes problems.
It definitely can. When muscles stay tight for long periods, they actually constrict blood flow to that area.
Oh.
Yeah, so less oxygen, fewer nutrients get to the muscle tissue, and waste products don't get cleared out as well. That leads to fatigue, aches, pains.
Ugh.
And what's more, a muscle that's constantly contracted can actually physically shorten over time.
Seriously? Like permanently shorter?
If you don't counteract it, yes. It reduces your range of motion, makes the muscle weaker. And get this, a tense muscle uses more energy just to move than a relaxed one.
Wow. So you're literally wasting energy if you're tight all the time.
Pretty much.
Okay, that really hammers home why dealing with tightness is important. So we got the why, let's get practical. Principles. How long should we actually hold a stretch?
Good question. The book recommends around 30 seconds as the general sweet spot.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that works out about 4 or 5 slow, deep breaths. Any less, and the muscle doesn't really get the signal to lengthen. Much longer doesn't seem to add significant extra benefit for most static stretches.
30 seconds. Sounds doable. What about intensity? You hear that old no pain, no gain thing. Does that apply here?
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
The book is really clear on this. For stretching, no pain, no gain is just wrong and potentially harmful.
Okay. Why?
Pain is your body's warning signal. If you feel sharp pain, burning, or your muscles start shaking uncontrollably, you're pushing too far. You risk tearing muscle fibers.
Ouch. So forcing it is counterproductive.
Totally. It can cause injury and actually make the muscle tighten up defensively. The goal is just mild discomfort, a feeling of gentle tension or pull in the muscle. That's it.
Gentle tension. Got it. Like an invitation for the muscle to lengthen, not a demand. Now, for the curious minds, the book touches on the science a bit. Agonists, synergists, antagonists. Can you break that down simply?
Sure. Think of muscles working in teams. The agonist is the main muscle doing the work, making the movement happen.
Okay.
Synergists are helper muscles that assist the agonist.
Right.
And the antagonist is the muscle on the opposite side that has to relax and lengthen to allow that movement.
Oh, okay. Like a balance.
Precisely. The book uses the knee bend example.
Yeah.
Your hamstrings at the back of the thigh contract. They're the agonist, maybe calf muscles or synergists. And this allows the quadriceps on the front, the antagonist, to stretch out.
So stretching one muscle group often involves the cooperation of another?
Understanding that helps you see how stretches work systemically,
Yeah, that makes sense. The book also mentions something interesting, that muscle fiber contraction is digital, like on or off.
Yeah, that's a fascinating point. An individual muscle fiber can't contract halfway. It's either fully firing or completely off.
So how do we control, like, how strongly we lift something?
It depends on how many fibers your brain tells to switch on. Need more force, recruit more fibers.
Okay. And how does that relate to stretching?
Well, how much a whole muscle can stretch depends on how many of its individual fibers you can get to lengthen. You're not partially stretching one fiber. You're trying to encourage more fibers to reach their full lengthened state.
Ah, I see. So consistency helps lengthen more fibers over time. And flexibility, then, is...
The book defines it basically as the ability to bend without breaking or injury. It's all about the length you achieve in those muscle fibers and, crucially, maintaining it.
And that use it or lose it idea applies here, too.
Absolutely. Muscles naturally want to tighten up if they aren't regularly moved through their full range. Stretching is how you actively maintain that length.
Okay, great foundation, why we should do it, the basic rules. Now let's get practical. Someone wants to start. What are the first steps? Setting the scene.
Yeah, creating the right environment helps. The book suggests a warm room if possible. Warm muscles are just more pliable, more receptive to stretching. And approach it slowly, deliberately. No jerky movements. Mentally, maybe put on some relaxing music. It helps with the unwinding aspect, that mind-body connection.
Nice. Warm room, chill music, slow movements. What about props? The book mentions the power of props.
Oh yeah, props can be fantastic. They make stretches more accessible, sometimes safer, sometimes more effective.
Like what? A strap or a towel?
Exactly. Great example. A strap or towel basically extends your reach. Really helpful if you can't quite, say, grab your foot in the hamstring stretch.
Right bridges the gap.
It also helps you achieve what's called a passive static stretch. You hold the position without actively pulling with other muscles. And it can help keep your spine neutral, upper back relaxed.
Okay. What about a chair? Seems basic, but how is it a prop?
A sturdy chair, armless, not too squishy, is great for stability, especially in standing stretches.
Ah, like holding onto it for balance.
Yeah, or using it to support your torso in seated stretches. Really good for seniors or anyone with mobility issues, lets them stretch safely.
Good tip. And the Swiss ball, the big bouncy one.
Yeah, not just for core workouts. It can actually make some floor stretches more comfortable, like lying over it gently for a lower back stretch.
Oh, interesting.
Some people even use them as office chairs. Can subtly engage your core and encourage movement during the day.
Huh, okay. Now, one I see a lot, the foam roller. Looks kind of painful sometimes.
It can be intense, but it's effective. The idea is to release muscular tension, those stubborn knots or trigger points that simple stretching might not get.
So it's like self-massage.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Deep tissue massage. You slowly roll the tight muscle over the roller using your body weight to apply pressure. It helps break up adhesions, improve blood flow. The book gives an example for the back, lying on it, rolling gently.
Okay, useful tool then. Now, super important, avoiding injury. Stretching seems gentle, but you can overdo it, right?
Absolutely. The core principles are relax, be comfortable, and listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Okay.
Simple guidelines are key. And breathing. Don't hold your breath. So many people do that instinctively when a stretch feels intense. Yeah. The book really stresses slow, rhythmic breathing. Exhale as you move deeper into the stretch. Breathe from your core, your belly. Helps the muscle relax and lengthen.
Breathe in, breathe out. Got it. How do we know our limits? We said no pain, but where's the line?
Knowing your limits is crucial. Again, it shouldn't hurt. Sharp pain, burning, shaking back off immediately.
Okay.
This isn't a competition, not with others, not even with yourself from yesterday. It's about feeling that gentle tension in the target muscle and gradually working to increase your range over time. Progress, not pain.
Progress, not pain. Good mantra. And alignment. The book talks about proper body alignment during stretches. Why is that so critical?
Alignment ensures you're actually stretching the muscle you intend to stretch, first off.
Right. Get the benefit where you want it.
Exactly. And it prevents putting unnecessary strain on other parts of your body, like your joints or your spine. Poor alignment can actually reinforce bad posture habits. The book uses the example of tight hamstrings pulling your pelvis out of alignment, potentially causing back pain.
Ugh, it's all connected. So good stretching alignment helps overall posture too.
Definitely. Which leads to the idea of a neutral spine. The book mentions this for lying, sitting, and standing. What is that?
Neutral spine means maintaining the natural, gentle curves of your spine. Not flattening it, not exaggerating the curves. Okay.
The book strongly advises starting every stretch from that neutral position. It helps retrain muscles to support your spine correctly and prevents creating imbalances. It specifically mentions pelvic position to avoid tilting it too far forward or arching your lower back excessively. Find that middle ground.
Find the balance. So when we're in that neutral position, doing the stretch, what should we feel? Not pain, but what's the sign it's working?
You should feel that mild tension, that gentle pull, specifically in the muscle you're targeting.
Just in the muscle.
Yes, never in the joint itself. Joint pain means something's wrong. Ease off. Your whole body should feel relatively relaxed apart from the stretch sensation. If you feel strained elsewhere, modify the stretch, maybe use a prop. It should feel good, positive, energizing even.
Positive and energizing. I like that goal. Okay, so how do we even figure out where we need a focus? Where are we tight? The book has a chapter on testing flexibility.
Yeah, this is super valuable for personalizing your routine.
Yeah.
Because flexibility isn't uniform. Some parts are tighter than others.
True.
And it's influenced by things you can change: activity level, stretching habits, warming up, even your attitude, but also things you can't change much.
Like what?
Your basic body build, genetics, age, and the natural elasticity of connective tissues like tendons and ligaments. And the book is clear. You don't want to be stretching tendons and ligaments, just the muscles.
Right. Stick to the muscle. So why bother testing if some factors are fixed?
Because testing helps you pinpoint your specific tight spots and imbalances. Maybe your quads are super tight, but your hamstrings are fine.
Oh, okay.
Knowing that imbalance is important because it could lead to injury down the line. Testing helps you focus your stretching where it's needed most, prevents potential problems.
Makes sense. It's like a diagnostic tool. The book points out that common tests like the sit and reach aren't always that helpful for this.
Yeah, exactly. The sit and reach tells you if you're tight, but not where. Is it your low back, hamstrings, calves? You don't know.
Right.
The book uses more targeted tests, specific movements that isolate individual muscle groups, gives you much better info to work with.
So it's about isolating the problem area. And it gives examples for different body parts. Neck, shoulders, all the way down.
Yep, simple movements. For the neck, gentle head tilts, rotations, shoulders, arm across the chest, maybe clasping hands behind your back, chest, arms overhead, trunk, a side bend, quads, heel towards your buttock, hamstrings, lying down, extending one leg up, groin, lying, legs out to the side, buttocks, a figure 4 stretch lying down, calves, a standing wall stretch.
To quick little checks.
Exactly, not deep stretches, just assessments. Where do you feel restriction? Is one side tighter than the other? That's the info you're looking for.
Okay, that gives a really clear picture. So once you've identified those tighter spots, the book then dives into specific stretches for those areas, right? With lots of detail.
Loads of detail. Sample stretches for pretty much every major muscle group. And crucially, it includes do's and don'ts for each one. Common mistakes to avoid.
That's helpful, like for the neck.
Yeah, it shows a lateral head tilt, maybe adding a shoulder shrug, but warns against pulling too hard. Neck rotation with a tilt for the sternocleidomastoid, that big muscle on the side. Again, gentle focus.
And shoulders.
Things like pulling one arm across your body for the middle deltoid, making sure you don't shrug your shoulder up, or intertwining arms in front for the back of the shoulder. Even overhead stretches, with an alternative of lying arm circles if overhead is tough.
Chest stretches, too. A lot of us get tight there from sitting.
Definitely. It shows a kneeling chest stretch, maybe progressing by moving hands further back, but warning against arching the lower back. Or a standing one, clasping hands behind you, lifting gently.
What about the core? Is that just abs?
More than just abs. The book includes dynamic stretches, like a wood chopping motion that hits buttocks, back, abs, chest all at
Oh,
once.
cool.
Also back extensions, but focusing on mobility, not hyperextending. And spinal rotations, bending and reaching across, great for back and buttocks together.
And the lower back specifically, that's a common trouble spot.
Big focus. It includes things like the pelvic tilt against a wall, simple but effective for finding neutral. A shoulder stand with bent knees, but that's marked as advanced, needing caution.
Okay.
An opposite arm and leg extension on all fours, great for stability, and the erector spinae muscles along the spine. And even that tennis ball massage technique we mentioned earlier for releasing knots.
The tennis ball trick, yeah.
Yeah.
And stretches for the hips and buttocks seem important too, especially if you sit a lot.
Very important. It details the runner's lunge for the hip flexors, iliopso. Lying stretches pulling your foot towards the opposite shoulder for the big gluteus maximus muscle. Specific stretches targeting the piriformis muscle deep in the buttock, which can be linked to sciatica. Even a seated rotator stretch. Good for dancers or anyone needing hip mobility.
Wow, really specific stuff. Thighs, hamstrings, and quads.
Yep. Lying leg extension for hamstrings, using that towel or strap if needed. Ankle to buttocks stretch for quads, standing or lying, with tips on keeping hips aligned. Even a standing hamstring stretch with your foot on a chair, adding a little head nod to release neck tension.
And finally, calves and ankles. Important for runners or people on their feet.
Absolutely. The classic standing calf stretch against a wall, making sure the back heel stays down. And simple lying ankle circles to boost circulation and flexibility down there.
Okay, that's a ton of great specific stretches, but how do we fit this into a busy schedule? Does the book offer routines?
It does. This is super practical. It suggests routines for different times of day, AM, PM routines.
Like wake-up stretches?
Yeah, gentle stuff in the morning, maybe while still in bed or just after getting up. Supine knee to chest, spinal rotation, a total body stretch. Breathing is key there.
And evening?
More about unwinding. Maybe a standing calf stretch, some hip openers lying down, neck and shoulder release, that cross-leg buttock stretch, calming things.
What about during the workday? Especially for desk jobs.
Big section on that. Easy standing stretches you can do in office clothes, chest openers, abdominal stretches, side reaches, quick hamstring or hip flexor stretches.
Things you can do quickly without needing a mat.
Exactly. And seated options too. Neck stretches at your desk, shoulder circles, ankle circles. The main message is just move. Even breeze stretches make a difference to combat stiffness.
Good reminder. And the classic warm-up and cool down, still important.
Absolutely essential, especially around exercise. The book highlights warm-up benefits. Increased blood flow, higher muscle temperature, getting your body and mind ready, reducing injury risk. Skipping it is risky.
And cool down.
Just as vital for recovery. Helps prevent muscle soreness, clears out lactic acid, brings your heart rate down gradually, gives a sample basic cool-down routine too, hitting major muscle groups.
What about for specific sports?
Yeah, it gives examples. Basketball players might focus on overhead arm and tricep stretches. Skiers on quads, runners on calves and glutes. It's about stretching the muscles most used in your sport.
Tailoring it makes sense. Any guidance for specific life stages or situations? Pregnancy, kids, seniors?
Yes, thoughtful sections on those. Gentle, safe stretches for pregnancy, like pelvic circles. Postpartum recovery stretches. For kids, making it fun, reach for the stars, dinosaur walk.
Cute.
And for seniors, focusing on safety, often using a chair for support, emphasizing gradual movement and listening to the body.
Really comprehensive. It even touches on stretching for common aches like arthritis or back pain.
Briefly, yes. Gentle movement for arthritis within pain limits. Using the specific stretches already covered for back pain. Pelvic stretches for menstrual cramps. Specific foot and calf stretches for plantar fasciitis. Buttocks stretches for sciatica. Neck and shoulder work for tension headaches. Basically connecting the dots.
And finally, a fun one, using regular household items as props.
Yeah, this really drives home the accessibility point. Using a thick book to elevate hips in seated stretches, a chair for support, a doorway for chest stretches, a wall, a towel, even fireplace tools for torso twists, or a porch step for calf stretches.
Get creative with it. Okay, after this really thorough deep dive, what are the main takeaways? What should people really remember?
I think the biggest thing is that stretching is accessible, it's powerful, and it's truly beneficial for everyone. Doesn't matter your age, your activity level.
Right.
And it's not just about, being super bendy or touching your toes. It's fundamentally about improving posture, preventing injuries, managing stress, and just making daily movement feel better, enhancing your quality of life.
Absolutely. So, Here's a thought for you listening. Start small, be curious. Try incorporating just a few of these ideas or stretches into your routine, maybe even just one or two.
Hmm.
And really pay attention. What parts of your body feel tightest right now? Which stretches we talked about sound like they might offer you the most immediate relief?
Good questions to ask yourself.
Remember, it's an ongoing journey, right? Listening to your body, responding to what it needs. And if you want to get more systematic, maybe check out those flexibility self-tests in the book. It's a great way to personalize things and track your progress.
Definitely.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.